lovely and darling viewers, it's Jen here at Check Her Joy, and this time I'm doing another Top 5 Wednesday. As always, the Goodreads group is in the description below if you want to check that out. This week's topic is our favorite villains, and this is a list that I've already done a video for, so I'm going to post the original list in the description below as well. And any villain that was talked about on that list, I'm going to exclude from this one. So this is 5 more of my favorite villains. So my first pick for favorite villains are the witches from Macbeth by William Shakespeare. So in this play, we have the main character, Macbeth, hearing a prophecy about how he's going to become king and deciding to act on it. And the bearers of this prophecy are the witches, which I kind of love. Like, it's not their fault that Macbeth decides to kill the King of Scotland and try to take over and all this stuff. They're just, you know, they're just sitting in a field brewing their potions with their double toil and trouble song, which is amazing. They're super creepy, but also, like, they don't actually go around killing anybody. That's everybody else, which I love. They just get to sit back and watch it all happen. And they have some of the best lines. Shakespeare's witches are really creepy in here, and just the aesthetic of it, like the words that they're saying. I love it. I love their speech. It's got wonderful, creepy undertones to it. They are sinister, but they're not actually like the actual evil in this play also, which I really love about it. So, like, Lady Macbeth is interesting, but she's not really fun the same way that the witches are. My next pick for great villain is Count Olaf from A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. Book 1 is The Bad Beginning, and Count Olaf is this actor, and he's very greedy, and he's not a terribly good actor, but he really enjoys getting into these parts. And when the Baudelaire orphans end up in his house as his wards, he tries to figure out how he can get their fortune before Violet becomes of age and, like, gets it all herself. So he is constantly scheming and planning and getting in costume and really throwing himself into this pursuit of their fortune. And the longer the series goes on, as we go through all 13 books, we start finding out more about Olaf's history and why he's so fixated on the Baudelaires, and it's great. He's fun and interesting and creepy. He's sinister and lurking, and he always shows up, and he's got some great tenacity. And did I mention all the awesome crazy characters and parts and costumes that he has? Because they're amazing. Yeah. I kind of enjoyed Count Olaf. I mean, I'm still rooting for the Baudelaires throughout this whole series, but I don't mind watching Olaf show up, which you know he's going to. My third pick is Long John Silver from Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. I literally read this book so many times as a kid that I wore my original copy out. So I really love Treasure Island, and a huge part of that is Long John Silver. He is a pirate, and he befriends Jim Hawkins, and he is so charismatic, and you can't, like, possibly believe that he could be the bad guy when you find out that he's actually a pirate, and that he is going to betray everybody and stage a mutiny so they can gain control of the ship, so they can go looking for the treasure of their previous captain, who made them work for it and bury it and then betrayed them. So these pirates are going to betray somebody else, and it's fun. It's fun. I love it. Yeah. Long John Silver is so charming is what it is. He's talking to Jim about how great it is to be a pirate, and he really loves what he does, and he's very dedicated to his crew and treasure, and I gotta give him props. It's very interesting, and I really love him. Plus, he's a pirate. He's part of the reason why, actually, he is a huge part of the reason why I love pirates so much. And also, he's got a point in his endeavors. Like, this is their treasure. They rightfully stolen it already once. Why should Jim get it? Just because he found the treasure map. Alright, my next favorite villain or anti-hero is Harley Quinn from the Batman and Harley Quinn comics. from DC. So Harley Quinn first shows up in the Batman animated series, and we meet her as the Joker's girlfriend. And the more we find out about Harley, the better she becomes. So at first she's kind of just a sidekick, but also she's this really kick-ass female. And I really love it when she gets her own spin-off series and she ditches the Joker because he's in jail, and she's like, you know, I'm gonna do my own thing without you. I'm good. And she tries to do right, but also she's still got all these dark tendencies, which are so much fun. So Harley originally met the Joker when he was doing a stint in Arkham Asylum. And she is the psychologist assigned to him. And the Joker starts twisting with her and messing with her, and she eventually falls in love with him and decides that actually being a villain is kind of fun and interesting, and why am I so stuck up all the time? So she takes on this alternate side of her that is Harley Quinn, and she's constantly kind of messing with the two. Like, there is this part of her that is very smart and very educated and very good at psychology, and cares a lot about animals, but then there's this part of her that is crazy and manic and doesn't necessarily follow society's rules. And it's just fun to watch Harley as she figures everything out, and I super adore her. Yeah, her relationship with the Joker is definitely messed up and wrong, and so I really like her standalone comics where she gets her own chance to be herself away from the Joker and try to figure out her life and save animals in very bizarre, twisted ways. Harley's got a good heart. It's just her methods are always not necessarily the straight and narrow. So my final pick for favorite villain is Mr. Rochester from Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. He's also kind of the romantic hero of this book. It's an interesting story. So the main character of Jane Eyre is a governess, and she becomes a governess at Mr. Rochester's house, caring for his ward. And we see everything from Jane's perspective, as she meets this guy that she's kind of got this connection to immediately, but also he screams a lot, and he's brash, and he's secretive, and doesn't talk about himself much. Like, he likes to talk to Jane, but he doesn't really like to talk about his past. And as we find out more about him, we kind of figure out why. So there's this mysterious side to him, and there's this very sexy, very alluring side to him also. And then there's the part of him that gives Jane attention when nobody else really minds her because she's the governess. She's not really one of the servants, but she's also not really part of the household either. But he's also a bad guy because, well, spoiler alert if you haven't read Jane Eyre, but he's got his previous wife upstairs in the attic and hasn't told anybody, and then tries to marry Jane anyway. And yeah, lying's not good. So, and spoiler alert, there's my list of top 5, or rather 5 more awesome, amazing villains that I love. Let me know in the comments below what are your favorites. Also, feel free to check out my original list. Peace out, I love you guys, and keep reading. Bye!